I came into the workshop last weekend. It was a bit cold. I decided to fire up the heater and it didn't work. It's a space heater that I had, kerosene, paraffin, and I've kept it going down the years, patching it up, repairing it, changing the electrodes, but eventually it's just beyond repair. So I decided to get another one, another space heater, and decided to go for something similar. It's a 20 kilowatt or 70,000 BTU kerosene fan heater. A lot of companies make these. In the States, I think Sealey is a brand you're familiar with, and here in the UK, Clarke, but they're all essentially imported from China. And this one came from a company called Trueshopping.co.uk. It sounds like a company that perhaps might sell you oven gloves or pots and pans. Maybe they decided to move a bit into the industrial sector and started importing industrial space heaters. Well, these all kind of work on the same principle. This one, the technology's moved on since I got the last one. It's got a pressure gauge and it's also got a thermostat involved, but they all work principally around sucking up kerosene and burning it a bit like an old primer stove. Let me show you how that kind of works. What you have is a large cylinder on top of the unit, and inside the cylinder is the combustion chamber. At the back there's a motor, and all this sits on the tank of kerosene with a wheel at the front. At the back of the motor you've got an impeller which produces a high pressure feed of air into the burner unit. The burner unit also has a feed into the kerosene tank, and it's this feed of air from the motor which blows across this tube that sucks up kerosene via the Venturi effect into the chamber. The chamber has got a couple of electrodes in here that create the spark, and the kerosene ignites. But you've also got this propeller here on the front end of the motor which blows air not only through the combustion chamber but around the combustion chamber, creating a low pressure effect which draws even more air through the chamber, ensuring that all of the kerosene is burnt. In fact, this propeller here is only about 12 inches away from being in a position to create a jet engine, but maybe not quite. So what I'll do now is I'll unbox this, assemble it, and fill it with kerosene and fire it up so you can see what it's capable of. I'll take most of this through on a fast forward so you're not watching me struggle with the boxes here. If you're ever faced with these straps and they're not crimped, all you can have to do rather than have a pair of scissors is just turn them around and they snap off. It might be something you're aware of, but if you're not, it just makes life a little bit easier. Supports go in at the front for the axle. No washers on these nuts that go with the bolts, which is not a great design, but they're building to a price, so I'll fit some washers at a later date. couple of bits left over. Well, it wouldn't be a proper job unless you had a couple of bits left over. And there we have it. Let me just turn it around so you can see. Unlike my last one, a thermostatic controller with a room temperature sensor as well, so you can see where the room temperature is in relation to where you hope it will be. On-off switch like the last one, place to fill the kerosene tank, and a pressure gauge. Very, very useful, because I was having an awful lot of problems on the last one with the pressure in the tank. Just wasn't getting enough on the venturi to suck kerosene through. So it'll be useful to see exactly what a reading I'll get on that. Anyway, now on to filling it up with kerosene. Well, I've got a few more bottles to put in, but I'll stop there and see if she fires up. Right, I beg your pardon. What I thought was a pressure gauge is in fact a fuel tank gauge. But it fired up straight away, no problems. I think I'm in business. I hope you found it useful. But before I go, two things. Hopefully, if you found it useful, you'll click the thumbs up below. Second, I strongly suggest that you install one of these in your workshop. It could be a lifesaver. It's odorless, it's colourless, and it could kill you. Thanks for watching. Cheers.